Hello, how you guys doing? Well, hope you're doing good. I'm back on another topic. Um, this time on this topic, we're going back to relationships. Kind of strayed away from that for a while. Men and women relationships, you know. So, the first video we're going to deal with in relationships, we're going to go. Let's try this one. Please act right.
This changes everything we know about what really causes toenails to be thick, discolored, and cracked. Most people...
Let's talk. Black men, I want to talk to y'all for a second. Y'all are supposed to protect us, not hurt us. And when I say us, I mean black women. Black men, you are supposed to protect your black sisters. And y'all are hurting us.
Hey, this is Raul. Please act right. For all the good women out there, this video is not for you. This video is for all the rotten women out there who treat men in a ruthless manner with no remorse, yet still expect to be protected by men.
So a father spends 5 years in prison for a child that he said was not his. So let's back this story up. Father and mother have sex, a child is conceived. Father moves away to another state, mother stays in the state. She works at a lab that performs DNA tests. How convenient. She doctors up a DNA test to say said father that left out of the state is the father. Said father is served with court papers and he does not go to court.
Lesson to learn from this, fellas. If you're served with papers to go to court and you don't show up, in most cases, you automatically lose. And at that point, you're at the mercy of whatever the hell they choose to do with you.
Said father is now what they call a default dad. He now has a warrant and is sentenced to 5 years in prison, 3 years after the court date. He serves his prison sentence, gets out of prison, takes a real DNA test through a company that the mother doesn't work for. He's not the father. Mother shows no remorse, no accountability. Why is this okay?
And of course, we know it's not okay. Now some of you may be thinking, why did he get a separate DNA test from the very beginning? He more than likely asked for it, and they wouldn't let him do it. This is how the court system treats us men. Also, once you're considered in default, you're at the mercy of whatever they want to do to you. Women say they should be protected by men, but look at what they do to some of us. She knew that that child wasn't his, and she changed the results to make it look like it was his. So why didn't she leave the results as they truly were? Because she slept with a broke dude and got pregnant by him, and she knew she wasn't going to be able to get any money out of him. That's why. Now this man spent 5 years of his life in prison, and even after he proved that the child wasn't his, they didn't do anything to her.
Black men, you are supposed to protect your black sisters. And y'all are hurting us.
No, think about it. They can literally take a man's take a man and put his name on the birth certificate in order to get benefits for it, and he's responsible for that child, even if the federal government know that it's not his kid. It's men going to jail today for child support for kids that's not even theirs.
Not even there.
That's crazy. And y'all want to sit here and have conversations with us about responsibility? First, you're going to have to come to the table in honesty and in truth and being real about the situation that y'all putting these guys in and y'all putting yourselves in. Y'all can't even come and be honest with who y'all are, and y'all want us to be able to support y'all and protect y'all and hold y'all down and marry y'all, and then y'all wondering why black men is the best of themselves against these women? What makes you think that they want to be with y'all when y'all are not even honest with yourselves and coming to the table honestly? We don't even ask nothing from y'all. We don't ask y'all to do nothing for us. We don't ask y'all to bring money to the table. We don't ask y'all to support us. We don't ask shit from y'all.
Look at her face when he said, we don't ask anything from y'all. Of course, she was ready to go in on him about the lower class type of guys that she's dealt with, who do ask women for things. Those of us who have our stuff together. The only thing we ask for women is to respect us and appreciate us for what we do. Now, take that silly look off your face.
All we are is behind the 8 ball because we continue to subject ourselves to the very person that we lay next to is really our enemy because they won't even be honest with what it is that they bring into the table. You bring in lies, deceits, irresponsibility, and you're looking to get saved and you're looking to retire.
When you're
somebody that be saving us?
A simp basically is somebody that don't require anything.
But what do they do for us, though? They
Whatever.
do stuff for us?
Yeah.
What's the website? Sign me up for a simp then. So give me a simp. Give me the dating website you was on so I can figure out where I can get sent from.
Wanting all the perks of a man while giving little to nothing in return. In this video, she did say she was a good woman, but she never gave any details on what that meant.
You want to know what's really wrong with the black community? Is that the woman is out of her purpose and she's not a helpmeet no more. She's the enemy. She's more of an enemy than the white man ever has. She's more of an enemy than anybody in history has ever been to the black community, because she's the very person that comes in with deceit and looks to use you and then disperse of you when she's done with you. And then she'll move on when it's all said and done, and then say, well, what about the kids? Them kids are woman too. Throw her out with the bathwater. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. Start the over. Get a whole new group of women, and then fix the community that way.
And unfortunately, this is the mindset of a lot of men, not just black men in Western society. They're saying to hell with these Western women altogether, and they want to start over with a whole other race of women. And I am one of them.
Black men, you are supposed to protect your black sisters, and y'all are hurting us.
She put a fake robbery charge on me. Okay, she said that I robbed her, mugged her, and took her credit card.
Wow.
The U.S. Marshals came to my home. I was with my daughter. I was off work. They kicked my door down, took me to jail, and I had to call someone to come get my daughter. Posted my bond $200,000. I didn't want to keep missing work, so I posted $10,000 bond. I ended up losing my job anyway because they got a hold of the information, said that I was locked up for robbery, filing false
plea. Why did you do this? Did you do this?
I did that out of anger because he played with me for a long time, for a year. He should have kept it real with me.
We all know how this could have turned out for him, and she knows it too. Thankfully, he's allowed to tell the story. Now, she just admitted to the judge that she filed a fake police report, and he played a recording of her admitting it. And the court system didn't do anything to her.
Black men, you are supposed to protect your black sisters, and y'all are hurting us.
Father is facing 180 days in jail for overpaying his child support and over-visiting his 11-year-old son.
Clifford Hall says he's more than happy to pay child support for his 11-year-old son.
I'm his father. It's my responsibility to take care of him.
But Hall says when the amount of child support was modified, no one told him.
And I discovered that for some reason his employer was withholding a large amount some weeks, a small amount some weeks, zero amount some weeks.
I didn't want to go to jail, basically.
So Hall quickly paid almost $3,000 in back child support. When Hall and his ex-wife were in Judge Lisa Millard's court last November, he owed nothing.
Opposing counsel testified twice that he's all paid up.
But the attorney representing the child's mother wanted Hall to pay her $3,000 in attorney fees, and Judge Millard agreed. Court documents also reveal Hall wasn't following the court's scheduled times to pick up his son. Another modification he says he knew nothing about.
The judge ended up sentencing him to 6 months in jail.
Judge Millard also points out Hall's attorney could have filed a motion for reconsideration. She says that would have allowed her to hear both sides again and reevaluate the situation.
So Clifford got released, thankfully, because of his lawyers, but not until after he served 14 days in jail. As a result, Clifford lost his job. Even his employer admitted that it was a clerical error on their behalf. He's also $10,000 in debt because of his and his ex-wife's attorney's fees. Plus, he owed $1,000 in back child support the minute he got released. And guess what? His ex-wife was the one who brought him to court in the first place. Even though he paid the $3,000 to catch himself up on child support, once he realized because of his employer's clerical error, he was going to go to jail. She still took him to court when she could have easily dropped the complaint.
Black men, you are supposed to protect your black sisters, and y'all are hurting us.
As a woman, you need to learn how to flip the script and make everything that man's fault. Even it don't matter what you do, you need to be able to flip it back on him. Whatever it is, I promise you it can be turned into his fault. He needs to think that everything that's wrong is because of him. And I'm telling you, it's gonna get you everything you want every time. It never fails. This is a skill that you need to master.
invite me somewhere and spend some money on me. I'm just gonna be blunt about it. I'm gonna need you to come out your wallet immediately, or you're never gonna hear from me again.
Listen to me, because I know if y'all want a man to be in love with y'all, you have to cheat on him. You have to cheat on him at least once. Like, beat down his self-esteem. This is how you manipulate.
She said cheat on some. Cheat on a
They
man.
only like you when you treat them like shit. So you have to treat him bad.
Treat
Not
him.
into doing 50-50 with anybody. If that's the case, I can be by myself. So I'm not doing 50-50. If you can't do that, then
Wow.
keep it moving. And I have a daughter, so we come together. So if you don't feel like you can help out with me and my kids, then we don't have anything to talk about.
I understand that I'm a black woman, but some of us are ridiculous, and we are. There is no way you can be okay with taking from someone and never giving anything to that man to replenish him. You want a man that can come in and solve all your problems, and you can't even cook for him without get somebody else to do it.
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense.
It does.
Men are gonna tell you what do you bring since
Right.
you bring your daughter. What are you gonna add to the relationship?
I'm adding myself. So that's all I have for you. I don't bring anything I don't have anything to bring to a table, okay? I am the table, and most of these men don't even have a table. All they have is bar stools. So let's be for real.
Black men, you are supposed to protect
Okay, if you
your
after this one,
black sisters.
wait to see this other one.
To start asking women how their relationships end. And I want you guys to understand, this one was in a 5-year relationship, and she ended it in a cold, callous way. 5-year relationship for a 28-year-old woman, and you just, on the way to work, I told them, dude, 10 minutes outside of work, this just ain't gonna work. Peace out. I want you guys to understand that this is how serious this is how little they care.
Ladies, if he meant it's Kevin Samuels or the Passport Bros, and if he's not making fun of them, it's a red flag.
So whatever you do, stay over there. If you make it out alive or whatever, don't come back over here and think we're gonna take you. We're not. Or at least I'll speak for myself. I'm not gonna take you, man. Okay?
So y'all are just determined to continue to prove me right about women being evil. I'm talking about the brother Eric Gardner. He is a black man from New York, a lawyer who is financially stable, and he decided to go overseas, and I think Chile or something like that. The gangsters from over there, and who's celebrating this man's death? Take a lucky guess. Who's saying that's what he get? Passport Bros lost one, and even if he was a passport bro, to celebrate a person's death, like y'all just so demonic, ill. And then this man wasn't even a passport bro. This man was married to a black woman.
Celebrating the death of a black man isn't the move. He wasn't perfect, but he was still our brother. He is obviously talking about Kevin Samuels, KS, who is now deceased, thankfully.
Wells Fargo has donated $390 million.
Honey, like I said, you get here on your own.
Man, this way the summer's on to something else.
Across America. Doing gets it done. Wells Fargo, the bank of
Just had it on the commercial, man.
The FBI's global
Come on, man.
crossover event Tuesday on CBS.
Was now deceased, thankfully.
Sir, on behalf of all black women everywhere, we absolutely do not give one solitary about you going to another country and finding a wife. Please go choose somebody else. And it never ends the way that y'all think it does. And I really feel sorry for those women. And so if they're willing to pump it up, because we know that little thing don't work no more, if they're willing to pump it up for y'all, have at it. Have a great day.
We all got that one man in our life that no matter who we with, he can always help us. And don't lie.
Let's talk. Black men, I want to talk to y'all for a second. Y'all are supposed to protect us, not hurt us. And when I say us, I mean black women. Black men, you are supposed to protect your black sisters. And y'all are hurting us.
No, tell somebody else to do it.
Now, we all know that all black women are not bad, but unfortunately, there are entirely too many rotten ones out there, and they're displaying their hatred for black men on social media on a daily basis. The biggest problem is we can't tell the good ones from the rotten ones. So with the literally thousands upon thousands of black women making videos voicing that they don't need us and they don't want us, let's say we give you the protection that you feel you should receive. Question: who's gonna protect us from you? Hey, somebody at the table, and I love you, so it might as well be me.
As a statement in itself, he's right about that. I mean, you know, it's just some of these women, man, they're crazy.
Thank you for tuning in to the Philip Scott Show.
What's this?
My name is Danielle DeVita, and I am a proud contributor. So I have a video today where a woman asks the question, why is it that an independent woman cannot coexist with an independent man? So I'm going to go ahead and roll that clip, and I'll provide my commentary.
Why is it that an independent woman seems like she can't be a good mate, wife, or mother? Like, I still want to cook for my, even if I'm busting my...
It's counterintuitive, right? Because...
What part is?
Independent.
Okay.
Right? It's the same thing as saying that you want a dependent man. These two go opposite of each other. Because an independent woman depends on no one, and a dependent man can't be dependent on.
What should we depend on our man for?
For protection, provision. It can be spiritual guide. It can be education. A man who wants to...
But you haven't said money yet.
Priest, the prophet. That's being
well,
a provider.
That's provision. But I'm saying, like, all of these things that I would want for a man, I would love a man pay for my shit.
But that doesn't mean that you can't have your own money.
But also, why did you go directly to the independent and the dependent? Do
because
you not
those
believe
are the polar opposites.
But do you not believe that two independent people can exist together in a relationship?
They need each other. I think that what is the point of having relationships? The same thing if you get a business partner that you don't need.
When I listened to that clip, I realized that they're asking the question, but they don't really value his input, only because they're interrupting him, and you can kind of feel like the tension when they interrupt him, like they're kind of in disagreement with him, which I'm all for, you know, people not always agreeing, but they really asked the question hoping to get a different answer than he provided. I agree with him. I do think it's hard for the independent woman to coexist with the independent man. We hear about the term independent woman often, but essentially this is a woman who's doing everything that an adult should do, right? We know for him to be considered a man, at least in the Western society, he needs to be able to provide. He needs to be financially stable. He needs to be able to, you know, have a home, be able to provide a roof over his head, food, his own clothes, and things like that. And when a woman does it, it's celebrated, which I understand that, you know, at some point in time, women had to depend on men. But we are long past that the independent woman is really just a woman who is taking care of herself like a normal adult. She pays her own bills, provide a roof over her head, provide her own food, you know, do all these things that she should be doing as an adult. In society, for both men and women, as you become 18, as you become an adult, you take care of yourself, right? And a lot of times, we're not looking at women to be married anymore and depending on a man. So that whole independent woman thing is really just a woman, at least in today's age, the independent woman is kind of viewed as a feminist, so to speak. She doesn't want a man, she doesn't need a man, or in some cases women say, I don't need a man, I want a man. But then we'll take a look at what this woman said, where she said, well, you know, he said a man can provide provision, he can provide this, he can provide that. And she's like, well, where's the money? Because I want him to pay for stuff. But you're supposed to be independent. Why are you dependent on a man to pay for your stuff if you got it all together yourself? I don't understand. I feel like it's an oxymoron. I hear a lot of women who say they have it all, but they still want a man who makes six figures. If you have it all,
right,
why are you dependent on a man to make, you know, six figures or to be a millionaire?
Thank you.
So you can have this lifestyle you want if you can already have it as an independent woman.
Right.
I do think that the independent woman, you know, they say often that, oh, men do not like, you know, independent women because they are intimidated by women. But a lot of times I think that they just don't like the persona that these women are giving off. It's not that they don't like intelligent women.
Exactly.
I think it is that they like women who are intelligent. They just don't like the attitude that comes with it.
Exactly.
They don't like the feminist mindset that comes with it. They don't like the I don't need you kind of attitude. And the lack of femininity. Because a lot of times women who do have, you know, this degree, they do have this and they do have that, they won't really meet the requirements outside of
just, oh, I can provide for myself. Because a lot of times when you think about the independent woman, you think from a financial standpoint, she can take care of herself, but she won't take care of her emotional health.
Right.
She won't. So she, mentally is not there. She's not emotionally there.
Yes.
Right. She has a lot of trauma that
Yes.
comes along with it, and because you'll hear about, well, I grew up on the idea that I didn't need a man because my mom told me blah, blah, blah. And I realized a long time ago as a child, I couldn't depend on my father, and I couldn't depend on this person, I couldn't depend on that person. There's some type of emotional trauma as to why they are independent and why they feel that they need to take care of themselves because no one else will take care of them, right? So there could be parent issues, right? There's a lot of issues with the, so I said the mental health, the emotional health,
Right.
the physical health. So a lot of times they say, I have all these lists of requirements and this is what I want a man to do from A to Z, but they're not even meeting the basic requirement that most men ask for, especially a man of the caliber in which they are requesting. They're not meeting the basic requirements, such as being physically fit. They are not necessarily meeting the requirements of being feminine, right? Because I am someone who is degreed, right? But my degree does not dictate who I am as a person. What I do and then what my educational level is, it does not dictate who I am. It does not make me the woman I am. That's an asset. That's something great about me. But who I am is based off of my personality, my inner beauty, and my outer beauty. And a lot of men are looking for someone who is going to meet that image. How are you making my brand better? How are you going to represent me well, represent my name well,
Right.
By being the mother of my child, by being my wife?
Yes.
What are you bringing to the table?
Yes.
Not what degree you bring to the table, but
Thank
you
you.
as a person.
Yes.
What value are you bringing?
Say it, sister.
And if all you're bringing is your looks,
Say it,
if all
sister.
you're bringing is your degree, there's a lot of women like that now. There's a lot of women who are intelligent and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
What is it different? What different thing are you offering? 'Cause
Exactly.
women are not offering femininity.
Exactly.
I think if you want to separate yourself from the rest, femininity is going to be one of the biggest things. Personality. A lot of women are acting just alike, behaving the same. So what personality do you bring to the table?
Exactly.
What inner beauty? Because a lot of women have stink attitudes.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
Mhm.
you just being this independent woman isn't going to really get you anywhere. You're not going to be able to coexist with another man who can do that all by himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's called interdependence, right?
Mhm.
So there's going to be some level of dependence that you have on another person, right? It doesn't mean that you're weak. It just means that there's other people in your life that can help you where you're not great.
Mhm.
And a lot of us think that we're great because financially we're there.
Mm.
But physically, emotionally, mentally,
Mm.
we need help. But we don't want to say we need help. We don't want to acknowledge that.
Mhm.
We think because we make six figures, we're all there.
Mhm.
But emotionally,
Mhm.
we are shocked. All right? So
Mhm.
I think what he said was very valuable. I think that a man can offer those things. That what he explained is a man who is a provider and a leader. That's essentially what he said. And she came up with, well, I want a man to buy me stuff. Alright, so to learn more about my content, you can go to mrsdanielledevita.com. I also have a book that's out, Command Respect from the Woman You Want. That's a book out for men. I will have a book coming out for teenage girls and women this spring. Girl, go get your husband, and boy, bye. So those will be coming out this spring. But if you want the book Command Respect from the Woman You Want, you can go to my website, mrsdanielledevita.com, and go to my books. Alright, so go ahead and follow and subscribe to my channel. I am on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Alright, thank you.
She's the only woman that made sense out of all those women on there. She's the only woman that made sense. One out of few on the whole line. That's a shame. But check this out. You think it was black women? Watch in America? Watch this.
I'm so happy that I could just. Hey, this is Raul. Please act right. In 1987, Eddie Murphy did a stand-up act called Raw. And in that stand-up, Eddie warned us that you should never bring a woman from another country to a first world country like the United States. Because if she mingles with American women...
And I'm bring her home and lock her up in the house. You can't let her mingle with American women. Because they'll change her shit up.
Aw, did I ruin your depersonalization of Asian women as cute, submissive anime waifu come-to-life sex toys that cater to your incelic fantasy?
Nope. You didn't disappoint any of us men who know better, because we know you were born and raised in this country just by listening to the words coming out of your mouth.
They will catch her by herself in the kitchen and throw a monkey wrench in your whole program.
Because you're probably one of those guys that watches way too much anime or Asian porn, so you believe that all Asian women look and act a certain way.
I don't get it. I'm an American woman now. I want what's coming to me.
And just listen to this young Americanized Asian chick. She sounds just like all the rest of the Western women in this country. Bring her over here, fellas, and this is what you're gonna be dealing with.
So my existence as an annoying, outspoken Asian woman with opinions shatters that illusion for you and threatens your masculinity.
Well, you just admitted that you're annoying. And yes, being annoying and overly opinionated will ruin it for every man. And it has nothing to do with our masculinity or your nationality. An annoying woman is an annoying woman.
Because you can't comprehend that Asian women are individuals with their own thoughts, emotions, and opinions.
Well, little girl, show us a man who has an Asian woman that doesn't allow her to have an opinion or express her thoughts. I'll wait. So just for educational purposes, men are not looking for women with no thoughts and no opinions. That would be a very boring marriage or relationship. We're more interested in women that know how to express their thoughts and opinions without sounding like you just did in this video, you little smart ass. She's responding to the comment overhead that reads, "You ruined Asians for me. I used to have a crush on one. Thanks a lot." And I don't have to go to her TikTok page to tell you that she's one of these modern day Western women who thinks that every time she needs to express herself, she has to be overly opinionated and abrasive, also known as annoying and disrespectful, thinking she can say whatever she wants to, however she wants to, and the men are supposed to sit back and accept her blatant way. But talk to her in that same manner and see what happens. So fellas, if you're thinking about bringing one of them over here, are you sure that's what you want to do? Because this is probably what you're going to be dealing with within the first 3 years.
Are men unattracted to independent women? I was talking to my guy friend the other day.
She was talking to her guy friend, not her boyfriend. Why doesn't she have a boyfriend to talk to about this?
We're talking about just like independent women. I was telling him how one of my girlfriends, she's super independent, she does X, Y, and Z by herself, she's like such a bad bitch.
Quick question. Have you ever heard a woman who lives in Asia talking like this? She's a bad bee.
And she doesn't need really anyone to count on. And he goes, let me guess, I bet you she is single. To that, I'm like, why? He's like, well, historically, men have always been, the caregiver, like they usually have always been that breadwinner, right, type sort of personality. And he goes, so that's why when women are too independent, they're too masculine, and men find them unattractive.
If she says she doesn't need a man, or she acts like she doesn't need a man with an attitude, you would be absolutely right.
To that, I responded, and I said, I think it's because 50% of men are average at best, okay?
As far as what?
And as a woman raises her bar.
Raises her bar as far as what?
And, she starts to provide herself that validation. She, does these things for herself, and she counts more on herself to become more independent.
Being independent is being independent. How can you be more independent? You see, more independent means she's spending a lot of money on a bunch of overpriced, worthless crap. And if you don't spend that type of money on her, according to her, you're not on her level.
Her bar raises, meaning that the men that can match her at that level are fewer men.
Typical westernized woman thinking. She's talking about matching her level of income. Here we go. Always talking about the income, not the man's character.
And so that is why these more independent women, are typically, I guess, more single based off of what he's saying, because they...
I'm sorry about that. That chick is nuts. Oh, Jesus.
In a historic defeat of Mayor Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, 2 candidates will face off on April 4th during the runoff election.
Sorry
That
about
is
that.
Paul Vallas and Brandon Johnson. They are both Democrats, and they are both Democrats, and they are both Democrats, and they are
I'm trying to go back to that video.
Fighting for the black vote. They are both Democrats, and they are both fighting for the black vote.
Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. Here we go. Sorry about that.
based off of what he's saying, because they just haven't found someone to match them at that level yet.
And chances are she doesn't qualify for the men who are on the level of income that she's on. It's amazing how they can just keep repeating what they hear other women say. But for some reason, they can't hear us men when we say, we're not looking for independent boss bees.
Right.
Maybe independent women don't like most of the men now.
And you would be correct, because they're basing it all on income. And this is what you're going to deal with if you bring one of those women over here. This young lady is clearly from an Asian descent, and she actually thinks she's saying something, when in reality all she's doing is repeating what modern women are saying and have been saying for the last 5 years. Just because she makes more money does not mean she's a better pick for a man. And just because he makes a lot of money does not mean he's a better pick for a woman. So if you get over here and she starts mingling with these westernized thinking women,
They will catch her by herself in the kitchen and throw a monkey wrench in your whole program.
and I'm not talking about having control over her. No, I'm talking about her having and utilizing common sense. That men don't care about how much money you make. See? Now we have to repeat it to the westernized Asian women too. Next.
I literally have all the money in the world but cannot find a man. I've been in that struggle. And I've thought to myself, should I go to another country to find a man? Should I go to a different place? Is it just New York City? Should I go to a different part of the country? Like, where can I find this man for me? What is very different about me, though, and in my situation, that distinguishes me from a passport bro.
Wait a minute. Let me guess. You're not a man. I think.
Is that A, I have a lot of money. So I'm not going to Thailand to prey on young boys who have no money.
You hear that? All passport bros have no money. Wait a minute. Then how the hell are we buying round trip tickets to go overseas, then letting women use us for our money, which you all claim that they're doing to us then? My math says that you all's math ain't mathing.
You can make it. This brother's been out going around searching other countries, making 6 figures.
I'm not saying, oh, let me go to some developing country, somebody who's not privileged, and prey upon their young boys. Like, I'm not doing
Young
that.
boys?
And we're not doing it either. You see what I'm saying? The same old BS that they cannot prove is even happening. Oh, and by the way, you're not having a problem finding a man because you have a lot of money. You're having a problem finding a man because you're a knucklehead.
When I thought about traveling to different places, I thought about going to luxury spots, like going to nice places and meeting people at a similar socioeconomic status, similar situation. People that are doing well, people that can understand what it's like to date a woman with means.
And that's where you're having the problem. Understanding the passport brothers, my dear. According to Western women, we don't have the means. And what means we have are less than mediocre. And according to those same westernized women, Asian women's means are less than mediocre too. So, according to you, rich people should be with rich people, and broke people should be with broke people. So we're following you all's criteria. So what's the problem?
I think that is why there's such a disdain, and certainly I feel this, a disdain towards passport bros, is because they're not playing on an even playing field. They're not saying, oh, let me go to San Diego and go to like the nicest, country clubs and let me go and meet somebody. No.
Oh my God. San Diego is located in the United States where westernized thinking women are like you. The very type of women we want to get away from. So why in the hell would we go there? Go ahead, Jenny. Ask her.
Oh, Jesus.
Stupid or something. These people are saying, wow, people here don't respect me because I'm literally not doing well. And I have to go to a country where people are living on less than $10 a day. And that's where I'm going to find my spouse.
Well, you got the first part right. They don't respect us men. Therefore, we're going to a country where the people respect us and the women treat us like human beings. And they don't judge us by the amount of money that we make. You know that's the formula that makes a relationship or a marriage work, right? 2 people and their matching characters. Maybe I shouldn't have asked her that question because clearly she doesn't realize that Western women are in San Diego.
That is the part I have a problem with because then it becomes very predatory, very creepy, and just kind of inappropriate.
Did that hurt when that stupid just fell out of your mouth that you nor any Western woman can prove is true? Nah, it's just getting pathetic.
But yeah, when you throw in the financial inequity and the patriarchal system of preying under both youth as well as this gender disparity and the privilege that comes with that, I am not with it. I'm not with it.
And nobody nobody cares what you're with or what you're not with. And to be honest with you, I don't think you have all this money that you claim to have. I
Right.
think you're just making it up as you go along. Because if you had all the money that you claim you have, you would be a good decision maker. And a good decision maker does not spout out accusations of a certain group of people going over to another country and being predators on young children without proof. I think you just make average money like an average woman here in Western society, pretending that she's something that she's not. See, even westernized women got the Asian women over here lying now. I'm telling you guys, if you mingle with her online, everything will be fine. If you go over to her country and spend time with her, everything will be fine. If you watch her clean her house where she lives with pride and no complaints, everything will be fine. If you bring her over here, she'll clean just like she did at home, and everything will be fine. But after she's been here for a couple of years, and all of a sudden, the same house she's been cleaning with no complaints is now too big for her to clean by herself, guess where she got that from?
Who you think he is? You ain't no God. You a human being. You ain't supposed to treat nobody. This house is too big for one person to be cleaned up. Why don't you leave? You always crying. Why don't you just leave it?
Just let her keep spending time with these westernized modern day women. And one day, all of a sudden, everything that you've been doing for her is not enough.
What have you done for me lately?
And then you try to do more for her. But it's still not going to be enough. After a while, you feel like you're just doing and doing and doing. And she's just taking and taking and taking. Sound familiar? And if she doesn't already know the law of divorce here, one of those women are going to educate her.
Do you know you can take half his money? Did you know you can take half his money? Did you know that? Did you know you entitled? He didn't tell you entitled to half? Oh, he only told you half the story then, girl.
And before you know it, she'll be serving you divorce papers. And when you open it up and read it, guess what she wants?
Half! Give me half, Andy!
I'm telling you guys, you got a 95% chance that this is what your woman that you bring from another country over here is going to start acting like within the first 3 years that she's here. She's going to start listening to these women here, and before you know it, you'll be divorcing the very type of woman you were trying to get away from. So if you're thinking about bringing a woman over here, listen to the final words of Eddie Murphy.
So be careful!
Hey, somebody had to tell you, and I love you, so it might as well be me. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when I post a video.
Man, this is funny.
Every week. And in the meantime, will you please act right? My name is Raul. See you in another video.
I mean, I feel sorry for any guy that get what those last couple women, whether they're Asian or white or whatever. I feel sorry for them. They got to deal with something like that. Oh my God. You know, man. You know, they might as well just go ahead and go and stay on the same team. I mean, just go get another woman. Because, I mean, you don't want to be with the man. I mean, you don't want to comply with the man. You know, because ain't no man from any culture going to sit up there and let you just talk crazy to him like that and going to put up with that. So, that would be my suggestion to them. It's like, why don't you just go on here, you know? But, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how some of these women think. And it's a lesson learned. And with the first video, that's why a lot of men, you know, are just pulling back. What this situation gonna do is gonna pull men not to even hardly talking to women no more in this country. I mean, it's gonna be a divide for single, and these are people that are single. The married people or engaged people, they ain't got nothing to worry about. But this stuff, if they don't find somebody that got some common sense, if you don't find a woman that got some common sense, oh my goodness. But here's another. Oh, that's not the video one.
So many of our biggest problems have already been solved.
Yeah,
Housing,
but
healthcare, energy are not intractable. In fact, the technology exists to solve these problems, but those technologies have to get open.
But excuse me. Yeah, that it's.
You look at the news, there have been studies on this. Local news overrepresents black folks as perpetrators, overrepresents white folks as victims. So the message that gets sent is they're dangerous, and specifically to you. They are not only bad people, they're going to hurt you. So therefore, we want to keep them on that side of town. We want to keep their children in those schools over there. We don't want to work around them. We don't want to live around them, etc., etc.
Hello, welcome to Reactions and Reviews. I'm your humble host, Zane. Thank you, and I hope you
Jonathan Majors. There was something in me that felt, I bet he has a white girlfriend. And when Antoinette revealed to me he was in Sweden somewhere with a blonde-haired white woman, I don't celebrate that. I'm not gonna celebrate their children that they have. It doesn't make me be like, yes, like, you know, some people together, you're like, I love them together.
That's how we all got here, a white woman and a black man. What I get agitated about is because it's commercially trendy for people to be in interracial relationships, it's become a presentation of diluted blackness. Like, aren't you happy to see like all these mixed families and Cheerios commercials? No, because the storytelling is not a mixed story. The storytelling is, this is what's digestible for white people.
He starred in Creed 3 and the latest Marvel movie, but over the weekend, actor Jonathan Majors was charged with assault after a 30-year-old woman told cops he attacked her. As Trump reports, Majors says he's innocent.
You're telling me that this man called the police on his chick because she was having an emotional episode, and when the cops get there, he got arrested. Ain't that about a bitch? What have we learned from history? Black men, not just in America, but black men have been kicked, burnt alive, hung, beaten, you name it. A black man has had it done to him because of a white woman.
Yesterday, an officer stopping a black man after a white woman reported that he looked at her suspiciously. And for the first time, we are hearing the 911 call that started it all.
It's a silver video call. It's a cross street for me. He's an African-American male. But I don't know what his deal is. It's really not, it's making me not feel very comfortable at all.
We have to acknowledge this thing is systemic. I think the reason white folks get defensive about the conversation is if you say we're going to talk about racism, white Americans think you're getting ready to call them racist.
This recent Facebook video was taken after 20-year-old Devin Myers had police called on him by a white woman who allegedly accused him of looking at her suspiciously. Myers says at the time his request for a supervisor to be called was denied, and he was made to feel like a criminal when all he wanted to do was park his car and get some food at a nearby restaurant.
I've seen it on TV, but I never thought it would happen to me, especially not in an urban area like this.
Nikki Uvino was attending Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut. She claimed the incident happened at an off-campus party, that two Sacred Heart football players pulled her into a bathroom, took turns holding her down, and assaulted her. Uvino claims she repeatedly told the men she didn't want to be there, that she had friends waiting for her outside, and to please let her go. Both men admitted having with her, but said it was consensual. The players were not arrested, but one lost his scholarship, and both said they were pressured to leave school while they awaited disciplinary action. Then Nikki Uvino drastically changed her story, admitting in a sworn statement that she made the whole thing up because, quote, it was the first thing that came to mind, and she didn't want to lose another male student as a friend and potential boyfriend.
If you made it this far, hit that like button and leave a comment to trigger YouTube's algorithm. I'm a new channel and I'm trying to grow. So hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to let you know every time I upload a new video.
When this happened, we didn't even give a statement. We had no opportunity to even give a statement when it happened. So we were suspended.
So the school kicked you out without asking you to come explain what happened?
Was not asked a question about what happened before being suspended from school. So that was, yes, extremely unbelievable.
We talk worse about black victims than we do white killers. What did we say about Ted Bundy? Oh, he was so smart, and he was so quiet, and he always seemed so nice. Every time one of these white boys goes and shoots to school, what do we say? We had no idea he was going to do this. So we talk better, we have more sympathy for white folks who commit mass murder, bury bodies under the house, cook them up in a soup pot, and eat them, right, than we do black folks who are killed by police. We start digging for every bad thing they ever did. We want to know if they had a juvenile record. We want to know if they'd ever been arrested. That's what the media does. And until that changes, I'm afraid white folks will stay in denial, and it'll be very hard for us to move forward, whether we're talking about cops or just average everyday folk.
I made $1,000 a day trading Wall Street secret market for 2 hours. Do you want to learn how to do it? My top students have learned this successfully.
Police say Jonathan Majors called 911 himself from an apartment here in the Chelsea neighborhood of Manhattan.
He reportedly told police that his girlfriend was having an emotional crisis, but when cops arrived, she told them a different story, claiming that he struck her during a taxi cab ride after she grabbed for his phone to read a text message sent to him by another woman. You look at the news, there have been studies on this. Local news overrepresents black folks as perpetrators, overrepresents white folks as victims. So the message that gets sent is they're dangerous, and specifically to you. They are not only bad people, they're going to hurt you. So therefore, we want to keep them on that side of town. We want to keep their children in those schools over there. We don't want to work around them. We don't want to live around them, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that message comes through loud and clear in the way that media represents people of color. You know, whenever thinking about Tamir Rice, the 12-year-old child that was shot in Cleveland by police, when that happened, what did they do? The first news story in Cleveland that made a big splash was about Tamir Rice's parents and the history of domestic and criminality among his parents, not about the cop that killed him.
According to the criminal complaint, the NYPD said he struck the woman's face with his open hand, causing a laceration behind her ear, and grabbed her hand and neck, causing bruising.
A lawyer put out a statement claiming there is evidence proving Majors is innocent, but there's already some fallout from the charges. The U.S. Army has dropped an ad campaign featuring Majors while the investigation plays out.
Day after his arrest, the Army's marketing office issued a statement saying it is deeply concerned and is pulling the ads until the investigation into the allegations is complete.
The image of black men, black people, has been damaged so much to where we don't even like each other. We hate each other. When we see each other, instead of embracing each other and greeting each other in a positive way, we mug each other. When we do business, we don't respect each other. We put no value on each other. And for some reason, a lot of successful black men truly believe that white women are better than black women. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sad. No, that is pathetic.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like. The confrontation between Amy Cooper and Christian Cooper in Central Park. Mr. Cooper recording with his iPhone after asking the woman to put her dog on a leash in a bird-watching sanctuary.
At some point, she decided that, I'm going to play the race card, I guess.
Today, prosecutors revealed Miss Cooper made a second 911 call claiming he tried to assault her and formally charged her in an arraignment held virtually with a criminal misdemeanor for falsely reporting an incident to police. In court, prosecutors say Miss Cooper admitted to police under questioning that at no time did the man, later identified as Christian Cooper, try to assault her. White women have consistently been the cause of many black men to be murdered, to be burned alive, to be hung. And yet, black men still crave, still worship, and still put white women on the pedestal. Hollywood has convinced the world that white women are the beauty standard. A lot of successful brothers, as soon as they start making money, the very first thing they do, they detach themselves from the black community and they move to the suburb with the white boys and the white women, and they marry a white woman or an Asian woman or a Hispanic woman. Those are the facts. Anybody can look it up, look up the numbers.
Major's lawyer said she expects all charges to be dropped, saying there is video footage from the vehicle where this episode took place, witness testimony, and 2 written statements from the woman recanting these allegations, which proves that Mr. Majors is entirely innocent.
Now we wrap it up for today's episode, and thank you for joining me.
I think I'm going to stop it right here. This last video, not all black men do that got successful and go get them a white. I want to disparage that. I made a video about that. Not all black men go to white women and other women in this country. There are some, but not as vast majority of them don't do that. But there's some that do that. Whenever you date an American white female, like any other American black female or any other female, really know her mental status. Know her mental status. If you break it off, break it up mutual. kind of dip out. If she start displaying anything that's psychotic, it's kind of pull back and pull away. From what I got from this video, from the different content creators, and the last thing, it's sad that what Jonathan Majors went through, even though it kind of found out he really didn't do what he said that it happened, but that does happen. And so whenever you meeting a woman out there, just be careful. And it can be anywhere in the world. This can happen anywhere in the world. But the one video about what Raul said, yeah, and really most of the guys that I've seen, Passport Bros and other men, have picked up and went to those countries, Thailand, Philippines, Colombia, certain parts of Europe. So they're not even considering coming back here. Some men are not coming back here. When they meet that wife, they got a decision. Majority are going back to that country. So it is what it is, and most men are looking for wives. Majority of men, even black men, are looking for. Majority of them are looking for a wife. And like any other men, they out there over there single, just exploring the sites and enjoying. And maybe if they are tricking over there, we don't know. But it's not every man that go over there doing stuff like that. So let's dispel that right now. And it's just that it's messed up that, again, you have to. Women don't understand the dynamic in a relationship in America. They don't understand that it takes two to make a relationship, and it's almost like you can see this feminist, lesbian, Jezebel spirit rising up, and they don't even know that if you push the opposite of the men away, it's gonna be nothing left but women. And it might sound cool for a minute, but it's like, wow, that you're gonna open the door for someone of the same sex to attract to you, who has a masculine spirit. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what that's what they're attracted to. This would be another woman. That's why so many women that look like men, that dress and cut their hair like men and look like halfway and have a demeanor like a man, they gonna end up going be calling at those kind of women. He's like, oh yeah, you don't need a man, because they try to be the man, and it's the truth. So they can keep talking crazy, because either they're gonna end up with another woman, or they're gonna end up with some guy that's setting themselves up. So, but you're not gonna be able to do the good guy, the hard working man, and just thinking, gimme, and I said, them days are over. And these women about to get a wake up call. So they get mad at those little pop shops like some of the older women did, but they in the end gonna be by themselves, bitter and angry and bitter. And you know what? And the only thing they can blame is themselves, because God was trying to get them to have some common sense. But sometimes some women have this controlling mouth that they don't know how to zip it. They don't know how to bridle their tongue. At times, there's times you should speak, and there's times you should bridle your tongue. And a lot of those women in that video don't know how to bridle their tongue when they're in a relationship. That's why their tongue got them out into a relationship. That's why the men don't stick around. And you see that they probably can attract a man, but they can't keep a man. They can't keep a good, decent man to be a potential mate. To take off the heavy burden and find someone who's a giver. Not just take away from them, but you give to them and give, vice versa, in ways, and bring value to his life. You need, and it's sad that you have women that, no matter if they're educated or not, non-educated, ain't figured that out. They on a second and third relationship and can't figure this out. You got the guy you're attracted to, but it's your personality that's pushing him to another woman. To push him to another woman in another part of the world. And all I gotta say is, hey, it's up to them. Let their ego is gonna be their downfall. Their ego, some of these women's ego are gonna be the greatest downfall that they ever had. And if they don't change their mindset, and like the sister was saying, like the woman was saying, hey, you just can't bring your looks and your degree. That don't mean nothing. And it was like, man, they just don't see it, sis. And a lot of these women are hard headed. They're stubborn, and they're trying to be up strong. And it's that feminist, lesbo, feminist spirit. It's gonna keep them away. It's their ego, their pride. If they don't want to be a headship, have a man as a headship, then that's either that or be alone for the rest of your life. And a lot of those young women, the black and those Asian women, are gonna be alone for the rest of their life. Because even no Asian American man gonna put up with that. White man ain't gonna put up with that mentality. He ain't gonna put up with that for too long. You might as well just say she gonna be by herself. I'm just saying. And for black men, be careful what kind of woman you pick as your girlfriend. When those who making decent money, be selective on who you pick. Even when you date, man, you just got to get to know them, man. Don't let your hormones control you. Don't let the other head use his head. Don't use the one down between your legs. That's the best advice. And that's what we do. We see the visual, and then the women that we think is feminine, soft, and nature don't even turn out to be like that. She can be just as wicked and cold and cold-hearted as a demon. So be careful what woman you get with, regardless of race, color, creed, because you hear what's out here. So but yeah, just be careful. And you see, so who you get with, if you get with the woman into a single mother, keep that in mind. It's not your child. So if you did one with a child, I hope you have some children yourself. Be prepared. But if something don't work out, they can hit you for child support, and that's not your natural child. Just thinking. Al Grease films had talked about that. The laws. That's on the law book. So be careful even dating certain. Make sure that she's a single mother. She ain't a vindictive single mother. There's a lot of vindictive single mothers out there that's trying to hook dudes up. So, men, black men, any men, listen to this message. Be careful of the women you get with. I know I am. That's why I said wait till the good God Almighty show you what bring her to you. Okay then? Alright then, hope share this video with anybody. Hope you like the video, subscribe. Until next time, hope you guys have a good evening and be blessed and be careful who you meet. Take care.